Sa kapwa ko Pilipino, ipagmalaki ang galing na meron tayo. Ilantad ang likas nating talento at magdala ng saya sa mundo. Sa harap ng pagsubok ay di susuko, para sa pangarap tayo'y porsigido. Magpakitang gilas na at pagpapatalo, ipagdiwang natin ang Pilipino. Yan ang Pinoy. Mula noon at hanggang ngayon, talento natin ang bida. Mula sa simpleng bakuran hanggang entablado natin ipakita. May pagsubok man ng Pinoy, pinalalakas ng saya. Saan man tayo sa pulog, sumbesibay, lakay, amiga. Sama-samang pakita ang galing natin kagaba. Sa kapwa ko Pilipino.
It's the month of December, and we know that when December comes, it ushers the season of hope. And that's why today, let's talk about hope and hopefuls in Philippine sports. E di paano? Bago na, power and play na. Magandang December! Merry Christmas! Mga kapatid, 21 days na lamang po bago magpasko at ito po ang ating unang pagtatanghal sa buwan ng Disyembre. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat mga kapatid. Nagbabalik po ang inyong paboritong kasama tuwing Sabado ng umaga. Ito po ang Power and Play hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum at ng Cherry Tigo 7 Pro. It's fun to drive, powered by Smart. Kami po ay napapanood, of course, sa pamamagitan ng 1PH on Signal TV. We'd like to say hello and good morning, Philippines, sa lahat po ng mga nakatutok ngayon sa 1PH. And of course, lahat po na nanonood via our live stream on Facebook sa Power and Play, sa 1PH, and of course, Radyo 5, 92.3 News FM. Magandang umaga sa lahat ng mga suki natin dyan sa radyo. Yung pong mga papasok na ng kanilang mga tanggapan, yung pong mga nasa mga terminal ng bus, yung pong mga security guard na nakikinig sa atin at naghahanda ng umuwi at matulog. Yung mga nasa emergency room. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. December, kayo ba ay naghahanda na? Hindi sa hindi sa sobrang pamamalengke o pamimigay ng mga bagay. Yung pong ihanda natin ang sarili natin sa Kapaskuhan. Magsama-sama ang pamilya ngayong dahan-dahan nang bumababa ang ating mga kaso ng COVID-19. Sana gamitin natin itong panahon na to para sa tama, yung pong makita natin muli ang ating mga minamahal. Pinag-uusapan po natin ang Disyembre and the season of hope. Sabi ko nga, this is a season of hopefuls as well. At ngayong araw pong ito, yan ang magiging tema natin. Ang pag-asa ng mga up-and-coming sports stars ng bansa. Mamaya po makakausap natin ang figure skater, 19-year-old Sofia Guidote. Siya po ay isa sa mga talagang maganda ang hinaharap pagdating sa figure skating. At makakausap din po natin ang isang undefeated bantamweight challenger ng Pilipinas na ngayon ay lalaban mamayang gabi para sa Philippine Super Bantamweight title. Yan po ay si Carl James Martin. Naku, maganda rin yung ating usapan, tubong ifugaw. At siya po ay napakatalino at napakamagalang na bata. So again, tingnan natin ang kanyang kinabukasan at ang kanyang mga plano. Mamaya rin po, makakausap natin two coaches hoping na ang kanilang koponan ay makapasok naman sa PBA playoffs. Coach Topex Robinson and Coach Jeffrey Cariaso ng Phoenix and Alaska respectively ang ating pong magiging panauhin. So, mga kaibigan, tuloy-tuloy na po tayo sa inyong kasama sa almusal sa pamamagitan ng ating pagbibigay ng board sa ating Sports Weekly Highlights. Simulan natin sa good news para sa PBA fans. Magbabalik na sa December 6, Miyerkules, ang Liga ng Bayan. Bubuksan ng PBA ang Governor's Cup sa Inares, Pasig. Yun nga lang, hindi pa rin pinapayagan ang live crowd. Patuloy daw ang pakikipag-usap ng PBA, si Commissioner Willie Marshall, sa LGU ng Pasig para sa inaasam na comeback ng live fans. Sa PBA pa rin, naghigpit na ang Asia's oldest league pagdating sa vaccine mandate nito. Ni-require na ang lahat ng mga manlalaro na maging fully vaccinated para makapaglaro sa Governor's Cup. Sa NBA, hindi mandatory ang bakuna pero apektado na ang ilang state laws o ng ilang state laws ang mga unvaccinated players. Hanggang ngayon, di pa rin naglalaro sa 2022 season si Kyrie Irving ng Brooklyn Nets dahil ayaw niyang magpabakuna. Naku po, meron kaya matulad sa PBA? Abangan. Lipat naman tayo sa football. Nakuha ni Lionel Messi ang record-breaking 7th Ballon d'Or Award ngayong taon. Naungusan ni Messi si Robert Lewandowski para sa award. 613 points ang nagpanalo sa Argentinian na mas mataas lang ng 33 points sa Bayern Munich striker. Ang Ballon d'Or ang itinuturing na most prestigious individual award sa mundo ng football. Si Messi ang may hawak ng record ng most wins dito. Sinusundan siya ni Cristiano Ronaldo na may 5. Balik tayo dito sa Pilipinas. Siniguro ni EJ Obiena na Pilipinas pa rin ang pipiliin niya. Yan ay kahit kinumpirma niyang maraming mga bansa ang nanliligaw na sa kanya. Giit ng Olympian, mahal niya ang bansa at proud siya na dalhin ang ating bandila kahit saan man lumaban. Hinding-hindi raw niya iiwan ang Pilipinas kapalit ang pera. Yan ay kahit pa naiipit ngayon ang top Asian pole vaulter sa issue sa Patafa. Isa pa pong atleta na pang-internasyonal. Maglalaro na sa Thailand ng volleyball athlete na si Mylene Paat. Pumirma ng 1 tournament contract si Paat sa Nakhon Ratchasima. Sinusundan ni Paat ang iyapak ni Alyssa Valdez, Jaja at Dindin Santiago bilang mga women's volleyball players sa bansa na nakapaglaro overseas. At yan po ang ating mga buod ng balitang sports sa Sports Weekly Highlights. Naku, marami pang mga balita. Yung sa PBA opening, alam na natin ang schedule. Maglalaban po ang sa first day ang Northport at Alaska. Naku, ganda niyan. Arwin Santos kagad na itinraid ay sasabak kagad. Doon naman sa pagpunta sa Alaska na ngayon ay nag-build up, no? And sa second game, ang laro po ng San Miguel Beer at ng NLEX. Ako, gaganda ng import. Brandon Brown versus sa NLEX. Si KJ McDaniels. Ako, talagang pambihira ito. Magandang laban yan. Isa pang balita na inaabangan natin, mga kapatid, ay yung pagbubukas po naman ng MPBL. December 11 na nakaset ang kanilang invitational tournament. Tuloy-tuloy yan ng 12 araw sa Mall of Asia Arena. Bakbakan naman yan ng pinakamagagaling na mga regional basketball teams. And of course, marami pa yan na ating tinututukan sa mundo po ng palakasan. Kasama na dyan, of course, ang patuloy na laro ng mga NBA teams. At alam mo, isang balita, mga kapatid, tungkol sa NBA, ay yung pong tila hindi masyadong magandang pagsisimula ng isa sa mga paboritong teams ng mga Pinoy. Kasi daming Pilipino dun eh. Yung pong Los Angeles Lakers. Kaya may usap-usapan tungkol sa LA na baka daw itong kanilang head coach na si Frank Vogel ay dilikadingding. Nanganganib. Alam niyo naman sa NBA, hindi sila pwedeng naghihintay. Pagka medyo sablay at ang ganda-ganda na lineup mo, kaagad ang unang nakikita ay ang head coach. Kaya po ang LA, may mga balibalitang umiinit na daw ang upuan ni Frank Vogel. Kaya po ito ang ating pupulsuhan, maiba naman dahil Pasko eh. Dahil Disyembre, ibahin naman natin ng konti. Konting imahinasyon, konting kiliti. Ang ating pong pupulsuhan ngayong umagang ito ay ito po kung papalitan nga ng Los Angeles Lakers ang kanilang head coach na si Frank Vogel, sang-ayon ba kayong gawing playing coach si LeBron James? May mga bali-balita kasi na mukhang tinitingnan nila yung panig ni LeBron bilang head coach. Hindi po kauna-unahang beses mangyayari yan. Nangyari na po yan noong panahon ni Bill Russell na naging playing coach siya ng Boston Celtics. Yan ang pinakasikat na nangyaring naglaro at nag-coach sabay ang isang tao sa NBA. So again, ang pinupulsuhan po natin, kung palitan ng Lakers ang kanilang head coach na si Frank Vogel, sang-ayon ba kayong gawing playing coach o coach si LeBron James? Mag-text lamang po sa aming hotline 0908-208-0629 o di kaya ay magkomento sa aming Facebook page ng Power and Play o sa Facebook ng 1PH at Radyo 5 na kung magandang magandang huntahan yan pag may kasamang mga kaibigan. Alright mga kapatid, tuloy-tuloy po tayo. Iibahin natin ng konti ang ating programa ngayon at imbis na tayo tutuloy sa fasting, unahin muna natin ang ating mga espesyal na panauhin. Sabi ko nga, it is a season of hope. It is a season of hopefuls. And these two gentlemen are hoping na gaganda ang performance ng kanilang teams. We have with us, and we're very, very fortunate to have with us this morning sa ating unang set ng guests, walang iba kundi ang head coaches ng Alaska at ng Phoenix, Coach Jeff Cariaso and Coach Topex Robinson. Merry Christmas, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us sa Power and Play. Jeff and Topex.
Good morning,
Kom.
Morning, Coach Jeff.
Merry Christmas. Morning, Coach Topex.
Kayong dalawa, you're very, very familiar with each other. Jeff, I mean, you're more senior in terms of coaching. So, just a little, what do you like most about this gentleman right here, Coach Topex?
Well, honestly, Kom, I think Topex, although I'm older, is more senior in regards to coaching. But no, this guy is the real deal. So I'm really proud of him. I'm happy for his opportunities, and what's really awesome about that is he's taking advantage of the opportunities. So yeah, always good luck, Coach Topex. I owe him one, Kom, because he kicked our butts last conference.
Topex, Coach Jeff, sinasabi mas senior ka, obviously, because you've been coaching also in the collegiate division. Pero still, you know how decorated Coach Jeff is. Pero ano ang lasting impression sa iyo? Having played with and been with Jeff all these years?
Well, Kom, with Jeff kasi, it went way back. I don't know if he remembers kasi when I was trying out sa Manila and because I was with Coach Jing Ruiz and they were teammates back what's the team? Yung team ni Coach Jeff before. Yeah. So I used to live at his place. That was way back. Mga 90s. And then, obviously we had a relationship with Alaska way back then. And now obviously we're contemporaries, but we remain still good friends, but he plays with me a lot. So maraming yan. But
pero itong mga darating ng mga buwan siyempre pagdating sa basketball court, iisang tabi muna yan. And let's begin with that, no? I want to begin, of course, the Governor's Cup is coming up. Jeff, you're playing on opening day. It will be exciting for you, obviously. But let me ask you first, before we talk about the Governor's Cup, a little bit about what happened in the Philippine Cup. You guys, both of you actually, hindi kayo nakapasok ng playoffs. You missed the playoffs. And frustrating as it may have been, dahil lalo na si Topex, ang lapit na. He was tied actually for the 8th spot, but because of the caution and everything, nagkaroon ng tie break. But anyway, Jeff, let me ask you first. What were the factors that affected your performance in the Philippine Cup?
You know, with what's happening currently, I think we were hit the hardest in regards to the virus. No, I always say no excuses. You come to a game, you prepare as hard as you can, as well as you can. But the honest truth is we were hit with 8 guys being positive with COVID, and then us having to play 3 games in a row and then 2 games in a row. So the schedule had to be that way. I mean, it's the only way that the conference will be able to push through, especially for us. No one foresaw the that we were gonna get hit by that many people. But again, we go in there prepared, and we try to play the best we can. But again, it was a little tough. It was harder to. It was a situation that we're not used to. We've never played. Yeah, me as a player, I don't think I've ever had to go through that. But like I said, you learn, and then you improve, and then you pray that this next coming conference will be a better one.
Before I go to topics, Jeff, I don't want to let you go on this. I looked at some of the numbers of the Philippine Cup. While you did very well rebounding offensively, you did very well in 3-point shooting. You were tops in those categories. Offensively and defensively, you had some flaws. You had some problems. Obviously, you were 9th in rebounding offensively. You were 10th in field goal percentage, last in free throw percentage. Defensively, you struggled in, you were middle of the pack in terms of points allowed, but you struggled in terms of free throws being attempted to the
Right.
opposing teams. What do these numbers tell you, Jeff? When you look through these numbers now?
Honestly, when you look at the numbers like that, it's a little difficult to 100% base it on that. I mean, we pretty much just didn't have our players. So we have our guys, we have a complete lineup. We feel and believe that things will be different. I'm not saying that the wins and losses will be different, but at least your chances will be different.
Mhm.
And of course, comes with that are the numbers. The number one that I think we focused on going into this next one is really conditioning. The condition of the team and us being game ready right from the get go. So that's why we're looking forward. We're excited, and we hope we bring that a better shaped team, because I think that's a big factor also.
Topex, Jeff is talking about conditioning. Obviously, you were also hit hard by injuries. You had Matthew Wright struggling, your best player with injuries, and a couple more guys. Ano sa tingin mo ang the keys to the performance of Phoenix in the last Philippine Cup?
Well, I guess for us, it's really more of familiarity than with each other. Coming into the last bubble, we kind of have more than half of our players are new.
Wow.
So obviously Vic coming in, and the rest, medyo nagkaroon kami ng konting challenges along the way. Obviously health issues, injuries, just like what you mentioned earlier. But again, it's a learning curve for us. We always look for those opportunities for us to learn and grow. And again, just like what Jeff said, we're excited with this new opportunity that's in front of us. A lot of lessons learned during the bubble, and hopefully we could do better coming to the next conference.
Well, again, tinignan ko rin ang mga numbers ng Phoenix, Coach Topex, and it's also pretty much the same. Halos kayo ng Alaska, almost magkasunod lang kayo in terms of the numbers, and you also struggled, although you were tops in assists and second in free throw percentage, you struggled mightily sa field goal percentage ninyo. You were almost dead. Second to the last there, and of course the numbers defensively also are not very glowing. Points allowed, rebounds allowed. Ano ang mga adjustments do you think, and what have you been preparing for the Governor's Cup given these numbers?
I guess one is obviously we struggled on offense. Some of our guys that were pretty much contributing the conference prior were kind of struggling. So again, there's a lot of opportunities again for us with this new team. Obviously, having an import is gonna be a big key for this coming conference. So those numbers, hopefully, that we missed during that last conference will be pretty much covered by having our import coming in and knowing what he could contribute to us. Hopefully, will help us go through this conference.
All right, let's Jeff. Let me just ask you a little bit about your lineup now. you traded JV Casio, obviously, and that I'm sure you've mentioned it. It's bittersweet, actually. Napakahirap for Alaska to have done that. I know JV. He started in Gilas with me, and I know the kind of person he is. Now you have about only 3 players, rather only 2 players above 30 years old. Now with Rodney Brondial and Joseph Taha. Now in the lineup. And most of your guys are pretty much younger guys, although you have some nearing that 30-year-old line, which is Mike De Gregorio, Averick Hamisi, or Maverick Hamisi and Kevin Racal, the returning Kevin Racal. Is this age factor, you think, the younger set, a plus or minus for you this coming Governor's Cup?
Well, I'm hoping, Kom, that it will be a plus. No, of course. First of all, in regards to JV, hats off to him. He was one guy that was, again, it was a difficult decision to make, but I think it was a decision we had to make only because of the path that Alaska is on now. Obviously, we are, especially at the start of this year, we are on a rebuild. So if you're going to rebuild, you might as well do it from scratch and then keep going from there. We felt it was hard to kind of go halfway with it, so we're going full throttle with that idea, and it shows with the age that you just mentioned. No, so Yusef and Roddy are the elder statesmen now. We feel like we have a combination of young vets that I call, and Maverick is included there, and Mike D, and Robbie's getting there. Abu's still getting there a little bit. And then we have our young guys, that we're looking for, especially, to give us, spot moments and energy off the bench. So, yes, I'm excited about the young team. The purpose of bringing in a veteran import in Olu is really because of the young team that we have. We know and believe that he's going to be able to lead us and be a leader for us as one of the players. So, yes, I'm excited, like I said, and we can't wait. We have 3 games next week, so we're here. It's right around the corner. We're ready. Yeah.
All right, Coach Topex on the other end, you have still your veterans. You have about 5 guys above 30 with Chris coming into your team, Banchero, of course. There's Jake Pascual and RJ Hasul, and of course Sean Anthony also coming into the team, although injured pa siya, and Brian Faundo. But you got a lot of new faces though hanggang ngayon, ha? As I mentioned, Sean and Chris, you got Simon Camacho coming in, plus of course your rookies, and even Sean Maganti for that matter. How are you handling the chemistry side, the gelling of this team?
Again, it's gonna go through experiences, shared adversity, shared success. So that's part of the process that we're going through. And I think what's important here is being on the same page all the time. Having our vets like Matt, like Jason now, growing as one of the key cornerstones of this team. But yeah, I guess the familiarity, me also being new to this, so we're being on the same page right now. And again, we only grow through our experiences, whether it's good or bad. What we get from that is gonna be the key for us moving forward. So again, trying times are gonna be here right now. Games are gonna be quicker. So how you recover from each and every opportunity that's been given to you will be key, in this short conference.
All right. Well, pinag-usapan natin ng imports. Let's go straight to that. Paul Harris for Phoenix, Olu Ashiwaulu for Alaska. I'll start with Phoenix, Coach Topex. How is Paul Harris and how is he gelling with the team? How is his conditioning and how do you like the fit?
Oh, wow. Again, when we were scouting for imports, one factor for us is character. That's really huge for us because of the situation right now, Com, is you cannot afford to replace an import.
Tama.
Process that you have to go through, the quarantine, and obviously them working on their papers abroad is going to be crucial. So when Paul Harris's name came out, Jimmy helped us on that. And when he tried to reach out to Paul, obviously Paul has been here. He's won championships here. Yung character niya is really off the chart. Yun yung challenge eh. Like for me, ito yung first conference ko to handle an import, and I'm just so blessed to have Paul na super low maintenance import. I couldn't ask for more. So again, no-brainer for us that when Paul was available, and what one thing we love about Paul, he wants to go here. He ang dami niyang finorgo na opportunities just to be
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So yun yung importante sa amin because he has friends here. He has family here, which he considers his family, players from Ginebra, from Talk and Text. So yun lang yung mapakasarap na yung adjustment mo sa
Stable.
import.
Correct.
Wala ni. Kumbaga, alam niya na kung ano yung pupuntahan niya dito. So that's a big factor for us. So when Paul ready, we really jump into the opportunity.
Maganda yung sinabi mo, Coach Topex, that talaga in the Governor's Cup, it's going to be key to keep that import and yung adjustment period will be very, very short. That's why many imports are returning rather than getting new ones. Coach Jeff, the same question. Olu Ashaulu, we know what he can bring. We've seen him with NLEX. He's a tough cookie. But, you know, how is the fit and what does he give Alaska in the Governor's Cup?
You know, I think right now, just listening to Coach Topex, we're both on the same page in regards to having a guy come in who has experience by being here before, and then the other one is a high character individual. So we're both lucky to have guys like that. And like I said, Olu has just been wonderful right from the get-go. Sa phone pa lang talking to him, he was very cordial. He was very respectful. It seemed like, because again, going into this conference and starting to talk to him on the phone when we were interested, I've never spoken to him. I don't know what he sounds like. I've never met him. But all you base it off from is really what you see on the court. So you see how he can be an animal and you know a strong force, you know, on the court, and the warrior he is on the court. But then you hear him on the phone and how he talks to you. You can tell that he's just a good guy. You can tell he's a leader. And I was like, wow, this is a no-brainer also. So I think we're fortunate to have Olu.
Well, you know, aside from the import, obviously, you've picked up a couple of guys, Jeff, and you know, some people are returning. But let me ask you first, I cannot not ask this question about Gab Banal. You know, you lost Gab Banal and he has transferred to Talk and Text. What was the case there? I mean, why did Alaska decide, you know, not to give him a longer contract?
We offered him a year contract prior to this last bubble. So when we were first negotiating with him, we offered him a year, and he only wanted a conference. He wanted to take a conference. So I think there pa lang, that decision there pa lang, you can tell that he had an agenda in his mind. And not a bad agenda, but he had a plan for himself. And
Right.
it was, for me, what I got there was kind of like, okay, I'm going to bet on myself a little bit. I'm going to sign a short term, and then I'm going to see what we can get after that. So, you know, Gab is someone who again, is no issues on or off the court. You know, you see the type of player that he is. But he does have other things on his mind and other plans. So when he did not want to extend again, obviously we extended him and wanted him to sign for another conference, so that all our players will be able to negotiate all at the same time at the end of this next conference. We wanted it to be even that way. So when he didn't want to do that, then I think that's when he decided that he'd much prefer seeking elsewhere, and he's fortunate that he was able to find a home. But like I said, that's really how it worked out, plain and simple. You know, no hard feelings. It happens. Sometimes players choose you. Sometimes you know, teams sometimes they don't choose you, and that goes the same for teams, right? So no hard feelings.
Well, you know, a window closes, a door opens. Kevin Racal is coming back, and you picked up Mike Delomia. How big is that for Alaska?
Well, with Kevin coming back, I think that's huge. You know, obviously, you know, he is someone we miss defensively. He's not good of a shooter as Gab, and that's plain and simple. But we believe that what he brings will be a lot more to what we need. So we're excited about him. And then Mike Talomia, just being himself, I think is someone that again, just specifically, just a younger point guard that will back up Maverick. So we're excited, you know, about him. He's been, you know, practicing really well for us. Again, high character, real simple, low maintenance. And goes out there and plays hard each and every day. So we're happy to have Mike also.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how they gel with Jeron and everyone else.
Yeah.
I know that Mike and Jeron had played together even in their youth. I was with them
Right.
before, and I know that they played in the youth team. Coach Topex, you picked up a really good character guy in Chris Panchero. Alam natin kung gaano kahusay yan also in terms of his game. And of course, Sean Anthony. Of course, Sean Anthony is not yet playing, but and the Adamson connection. You picked up a guy like Simon Camacho with Sean Maganti. How are they now going to contribute? Moving forward? What do you think is going to be the role of Chris in particular in this team?
Well, when we brought in Chris, he knows what's expected of him. He's been through two teams before, and now he's pretty much more on thinking more of how can he be of service to the team that he's gonna play for. So a lot of experiences for Chris, and now siya na yung one of the kuyas here. So he's really excited about the opportunity that he's a leader, and he really put in so much work. He just doesn't talk about it, but he does it. So yun yung malaking role model for us to have Chris. And talking about Sean Anthony again, he's just a born leader. He really now sets the tone for us here in practice. Yeah, just like what you mentioned, Com, he had an operation, but the next day he was here already working out. So
Wow.
what you ask for, and just a born leader. He talks to the players. He talks to me. He communicates well. So I'm just excited to have Sean, leading this team. Again, we're still a young team, so having Sean to be one of the backbones of this team is really going to be crucial. Again, Sean Manganti and Simon Camacho. I talk about Sean first. Yes, he might not have that opportunity with Motorsport before, but looking at him now, he's young, he's hungry. Again, he just wants this opportunity, and right now he's really taking advantage of that. Well, with Simon Camacho, sobrang blessing siya for us. He played. He got drafted by Talking Text, wasn't signed. He went elsewhere, and the opportunity with Phil Basket came, and he thought that he's not gonna play basketball anymore. And I love having those kind of players na may ganong storya. May ganong yung when we talked to him, we didn't know that he's gonna be the MVP of the Phil Basket. He was playing well, and sabi niya he just wants the opportunity. So when we offered him, hindi na siya nag-isip ko. He just decided he just wants to play. You just have to love those kind of players in your team that are just there to prove their worth. Kumbaga, yung opportunity lang that was waiting for them, and now that he has it, he really proven that he could help our team. And I'm just excited to have Simon together with us in this battles.
Well, you are the prime example of opportunities, topics, obviously, and maganda talaga na nakikita nila mismo yung living example of what hard work and taking your opportunities can do for you. And look at you now. Those four guys na pinag-usapan mo, they're very close to me. I worked with Chris when he was in the ABL. We discovered Sean Anthony when he was with Gilas. He tried out in Las Vegas back in 2009. So we already knew the character of Sean Anthony. And of course, Simon Camacho, I handled him when he entered the PBA. I helped him out just to get into the PBA. And I'm just so happy na ngayon he's going to get this opportunity to play in the PBA. Let me ask you before I let you go, how are your practices? Given all of these restrictions, are you concerned about conditioning and all these injuries na hindi pa kayo masyado talagang makapag-practice, Jeff?
The last couple of weeks, we've been fortunate to be able to get on the court already. So we're happy about that. But I'm not going to lie to you, we're sick and tired of Zoom workouts. So the only one getting in shape are the coaches when we do Zoom workouts. But we're doing our best to try to catch up a little bit. That has been a focal point on how we want to approach the next conference. Obviously, Coach Topex knows this, being former players. If you're not in the shape that you want to be, you're not going to be able to do what you want on the court. No matter how good you are skill wise. So
right.
I wanna take a quick opportunity, just to congratulate Coach Topex on how he went in and acquired players like that, because I'm on the same boat. We don't have the luxury that others may have. So we have to be creative, you know. So God, I wish you could say more. So congrats, Coach
That's
Topex.
nice.
Creativity, that's what I call it. We have to be creative.
And I know your boss is like that. Your boss is like creativity. I know Freddie, he likes that. Coach Topex, your side, kamusta ang practices? How is the conditioning of the boys?
Well, again, it's never gonna be easy, Com. Obviously, with the restrictions, just like what Coach Jeff said. But again, we always try to remind everybody how fortunate we are. Amidst everything that's been happening, we still have the opportunity because sometimes we forget about it. We think about this pandemic, but more being grateful of that we still have our jobs. We're still we can provide for our families and we're healthy. And yun lang, it's just a bit of motivation because it's really hard yung Zoom workouts nga. It's really
Right.
challenging for the players to connect with, you don't get to see eye to eye.
Right.
You don't get to see, you don't get to touch or have those conversations. So it's really taking its toll. And then that's why now we're excited and we're happy. And we know it's not going to be easy. There's still going to be challenges, what just like what Coach Jeff mentioned last conference with them. And we always pray, hope and pray that everybody gets compete, with all these adversities because we put in the works.
Yeah.
We don't just sit here. And also, we want to bring hope to others. PB has been there for the longest, and we have people really asking us when it's gonna start, when it's gonna, now that it's here, and we just hope and pray that it's gonna be a productive one for not just for Phoenix, for Alaska, but for everyone.
Well, we certainly hope that the fans can be back. Of course, medyo inaayos pa yan. But that'll be a big boost, of course, not only to the PBA, but to everyone else. Before I let you go, gentlemen, just one final question. Over or under? You had a record, Alaska had 3-8 last time. You had 4-7. Over and under, 6 wins. Jeff, I'll start with you.
Over and under 6 wins.
Over or under? Over.
Over. That's the goal always.
Definitely.
Definitely.
You want to win every game that comes your way. So again, we're just going to take it as it is.
I'm sure if you hit that mark, you'll be in the playoffs, which you did not make, and that is certainly going to be a true blessing for this coming year. Guys, it's a season of hope, and I'm certainly hoping Alaska and Phoenix get their wishes and make it back to the playoffs. Maraming salamat for joining us today, Coach Jeff, Coach Topex. Merry Christmas in regards to your family.
Merry Christmas, Com. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
See you. Com, thank you.
See you soon. Maraming salamat. Mga kaibigan, ang head coaches ng Alaska and Phoenix, walang iba kundi ang ating mga kaibigan, Coach Jeff Cariaso, Coach Topex Robinson. Mabuhay kayo. Maraming pong salamat. Alright, mga kaibigan, tuloy-tuloy po tayo sa Power and Play. Pasalamat lang tayo sa Smart, ang ating pong mga tagapagtaguyod sa Smart. Puso Pilipinas is a movement to celebrate the Filipino athlete, powered by Smart. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Get a chance to win exclusive Puso Pilipinas merch by sharing their Facebook page in your social media accounts with hashtag Puso Pilipinas. The Giga Life app is the latest mobile app from Smart that lets you discover and enjoy your passions with the different Giga promos. It can be downloaded and used by Smart Postpaid, Smart Prepaid, Pro Prepaid, and TNT subscribers via the Apple or Google Play Store. What can the Giga Life app do for me? Check your balance, monitor your current subscription, top up using debit credit card, subscribe to the latest Giga promos, monitor your data consumption, auto-detect your mobile number when you are connected to Smart Network one-tap subscription to the most popular offer, Giga Video 99. And of course, Power and Play is powered by Smart. We will take a quick break. Sa amin pong pagbabalik, fasting sa Power and Play. Ang oras po natin, 8:39 in the morning. This time check is brought to you by Birmingham Subdivisions. Come home to Birmingham. We'll be back.
I dare to dream big. To be a voice of my generation. To inspire resilience in the face of roadblocks. And in sharing my stories, I let others share in my passion.
Follow Kai's stories on Twitter and share yours. With Smart Double Giga Stories. Share 2 times the passion with 2 gigabytes for Twitter and more. Guaranteed every day, plus data for all sites.
Simple. Smart ako.
Alex, are you ready to have some fun on your first driving lesson?
Nagbabalik po ang Power and Play. Binabati po natin si Errol Grimares ng Muntinlupa at saka si Anita Ocampo. Shout out daw sa pamilya niya Dimagiba ng Ilocos Norte. Naku, naimbag nga bigat po sa lahat po ng ating mga kaibigan sa Ilocos Norte at aking mga kamag-anak dyan sa San Esteban, Ilocos Sur. Alright, ha? O nga pala, gusto ko pong magpasalamat sa aking kasama, batchmate, kaibigan at kaklase sa Ateneo, si Jimmy Hernandez at ang kanyang may bahay si Eva, si Mr. and Mrs. Jimmy Hernandez, ang Pangulo po at Vice President ng Homeowners Development Corporation, developers ng Birmingham Subdivisions, ang aming pinakabagong supporter at sponsor ng Power and Play. Maraming salamat, Jimmy, sa iyong suporta. At mamaya po, marami pa tayong pag-uusapan tungkol sa napakagandang developments ng Birmingham Subdivisions. Mamaya abangan niyo po yan. Alright, at this point, kanina sabi ko, uhulihin natin ngayon ang inyong paboritong segment na Fast Take. Dahil special edition to. And ngayon po natin ipapasok ang segment kung saan ang mahalaga ay ang opinyon ng inyong mga kasama sa sports media na nasa likod ng mga storya sa palakasan. Ito po ang aming segment tinatawag na Fast Take. And Fast Take is brought to you by Cherry Tigo 7 Pro. It's fun to drive. At ngayong araw pong ito, special na edition ng Fast Take. Makakasama natin, walang iba kung hindi ang mga suki natin sa Power and Play from Chicago, si kaibigan ko si Homer Sayson. And of course, my golf partner, good friend, Anthony Suntay. Merry Christmas, Homer and Anthony.
Same to you guys. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Homer. Let's go Bears!
What? Bears!
Pero yung Bulls mo, maganda. The Chicago Bulls are doing well. So mamaya pag-uusapan natin yan, Homer and Anthony. But I'm glad. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. This is a special edition of Fast Take. This is where kung saan ang opinion nyo ang mahalaga. And I will begin with that before we start tackling other matters. Baka makalimutan ko itong Fast Take. Kaya gusto ko munang unahin itong Fast Take kung saan you'll be given 1 minute to give your opinion on certain takes that the show has on certain topics about sports. So, kung handa na kayo, bato-bato sa langit, tamaan, huwag magagalit, at ang walang mali o walang tama, ang opinion nyo lamang ang mahalaga. So we'll begin with our first take of the morning, Homer and Anthony. Ang una kong take, alam naman natin ang patakaran ngayon sa PBA, pag hindi ka bakunado, bawal kang maglaro at ikaw ay merong sanction. So ang tanong, ang aking take, imbis na parusahan agad, mas maganda kung magkaroon muna ng information drive ang PBA sa mga hindi pa bakunadong manlararo. That is our take. Mas magandang may information drive muna bago parusahan. What is your take? I'll begin with you, Homer. You have 1 minute. Go.
I agree because information is key, so, lalo na when we talk about pandemic and all that stuff. But the most important thing, you can only inform so much because some people refuse to be informed because they already have their set belief. Now, vaccine is not good and vaccine is this and that, my microchip, whatever theories. So I think the most powerful key is money. You find them because the financial motive, pag na-find mo, players tend to follow rules when you take money away from them.
Bilis Okay, kita nyo yan Ganyan kabilis si Homer Sayson. Talagang concise, succinct, direct to the point. Walang keme-keme. So, same issue or same take, Anthony, imbis na parusahan agad. Mas maganda kung magkaroon muna ng information drive ang PBA sa mga hindi pa bakunadong mga players. Ano ang take mo? You have 1 minute, Anthony. Go!
Well, para sa akin, information, katulad nga na sinabi ng Homer is key. But at the same time, you know what, Noli, it's not like the vaccines have just been here last week. Medyo matagal na yung bakuna dito So, there is more than enough information out there. And, if you're not informed, I think there's also really something wrong with you already. So you really need to be able to get out there and get as much information as you possibly can already and make a decision. Now, if you don't want to make a decision, ayaw mo talaga magpapakuna, huwag ka na muna makapaglaro sa PBA. Because remember, it is a private institution. Just like private companies are not forcing people to actually work for them. So at the end of the day, pag sinabi ng PBA, kailangan bakunado ka. If you want to be able to play in the PBA, plain and simply put, have yourself vaccine.
Well, excellent. I agree with the two of you. Ako sa akin, as far as I'm concerned, hindi lamang ito PBA rule. I mean, this is a government mandate. Kaya naman bumaba ang ating mga kaso. Tayo makakapag-Christmas. Dahil tayong lahat ay sumusunod. Ngayon, yung ayaw magpasko, gusto niya malando siya sa sarili niyang kwarto. Huwag na rin siya maglaro ng basketball. Ayaw mo magpabakuna. Diyan ka muna. Talagang, pero tama. Sanctions are important. Sanctions are important. But just like any others, pagka nag-sanction ka, there must be a rule and that rule must be explained. All right, let's go to our second take of the morning. Ito again, tungkol ito sa PBA dahil alam natin, napakasikip ng calendar ng basketball. There is the FIBA windows. You have now the EASL joining the calendar ng PBA. They will be participating there. And so far, we've done only one conference last year. Now we're doing 2. So ang tanong, itong take namin, mas makabubuti sa PBA kung itutuloy na lang ang 2-conference setup kahit tapos na ang pandemya. I will begin with you. What is your take, Anthony? You have 1 minute. Go!
Well, if you look at it from the PBA's point of view, yes, makakabuti talaga para sa kanila. And their overall setup, their overall health is to be able to do 2 conferences. But you also have to consider the national team. So kung talagang PBA lang ang habol mo, yes, tama, dapat mag-2 conference setup sila. Now, if you're looking for the national team and their health, kailangan naman also pag-isipan din natin yung national team natin. Because, if a lot of the players start entering the PBA and not have to go to the Gilas draft, then at the end of the day, makikita naman natin, madidrain din yung ating national team. But so you really have to look at both. You have to be able to try to find a healthy balance. And if you ask me, that's a very, very difficult thing to really be able to tackle, Noli, because you want to be able to have the PBA healthy, but at the same time, you also want to be able to make sure that our national team is doing well.
All right. Well, again, itong 2-conference format na to, sinubukan namin already in the past and obviously, it did work at that time, pero binalik yan yung traditional 3-conference format. So same take, Homer, mas makabubuti sa PBA kung itutuloy na lang ang two-conference setup kahit tapos na. Wala na itong pandemya, two-conference format na lang. Ano ang take mo, Homer? 1 minute, go!
I love to eat Jollibee, but I don't want to go there every other day because frequency mitigates affinity. If you put two conferences, I think it's the best for the PBA. Number one, you have healthy players. They have more time to recover from injuries, more time to rest and recover. Number two, absence makes the love grow fonder, di ba? Fans, the fans, if you offer the same product almost every other month, every other week may laro, nawawala yung passion, medyo nakukunan ng konti. If the PBA wants to continue, it should be just two conferences and you have to be more creative. Why not resurrect yung dalawang imports? I think that was a very exciting time in the PBA, if I remember. So do that. Don't stick to, I know the PBA is still good. It's still alive. But with the threats coming from all borders, you have to be reinventive. You have to be imaginative and creative. And the best way to do it, two conference lang. Get rid of the three conferences.
Alam mo, and that's a great take. You know my position there. But ako, let's just relate it to the pandemic. This pandemic has revealed so many things to us. Work from home has worked. Itong work from home has reduced traffic. Maraming bagay na nilabas ang pandemya. I think it also should be a revealing factor to the PBA na pwede ang two conferences. You know, I do not believe in this commercial thing na kailangan maraming games. We've tried that in the past. The many wise members of the board, including team owners, knew and agreed na sapat na yung two conference. Alam mo kung sino lang ang mahilig sa three conference? Sa totoo lang, ha? Sa totoo lang.
San Miguel?
yung PBA mismo.
Yes, of course.
Mismo. Kasi kailangan yan ng PBA in terms of yung championships, kailangan malaging ganon. Mas madali kasing ibenta pag ganon, tatlong konferensya. But it's not the case. You know, if you gotta have a league at hindi mo magawang maging interesado ang iyong format, then something is wrong with you. Wag mong parusahan ng players, but I think the pandemic has certainly revealed that the two-conference format can and will work. All right, let's go to our third and final take of the morning. Ito tungkol doon sa Gilas team. Alam natin, sabi natin, Gilas humihingi ng tulong sa PBA and that ang tulong na binibigay nila ay magkaroon ng Gilas draft in the last 2 years. Which means that many players hindi napupunta sa mga koponan ng PBA. So, ang take namin, dapat itigil na yung Gilas draft para mas madaming mapagpilian na rookies ang mga PBA teams. Ano ang take mo, Homer? You have 1 minute. Go!
Get rid of it. It's useless. It doesn't serve its purpose. If I'm a player, I don't want to be drafted. You know why? Because I become a glorified practice player. Because at the end of the day, pagdating na ng actual competition, Gilas will always summon top collegiate players. They will summon PBA players and Philams. And so yung mga nag-draft, not only do they lose income by not being able to play in the PBA, they do not have, practice. It does not simulate actual games. If I want to be drafted, I want to make my money. I want to go to a team that will choose me. I want to grow with that team. And I want to be if my team allows me to then play for Gilas after I'm drafted, pero I should be allowed. Why should I not be allowed to make my money and work to draft to the PBA team that will hopefully draft me? So, para sa akin, it's an exercise. It's useless. It doesn't serve its purpose.
All right. Well, marami yung, of course, nagsasabing kailangan ng Gilas yan, kailangan ng para may pool. Same issue, Anthony. Ang tanong dito is, dapat itigil na ang Gilas draft para mas madami namang mapagpilian ng mga PBA teams na mga rookies. Ano ang take mo, Anthony? 1 minute. Go!
Again, it goes back to the health of either one, of the PBA and of course for Gilas. Now, if you want Gilas to be strengthened, you have to be able to continue to feed a lot of good players there. Pero kung sa overhealth ng PBA, kailangan talagang itigil na yan because you want the best players playing in the PBA. You don't have to look that far. Tignan mo na lang yung ginawa ng NBA. The NBA actually has all their players healthy or at least on their roster. All throughout the season, so nakikita mo, the mother teams are able to use them. Tignan mo yung nangyari sa United States noong isang araw. Natalo sila sa Mexico dun sa FIBA qualifying window. And they had players that are in the G League. They're not the best players that are in the United States. So, again, it depends on which side of the fence you're looking at it. If you want Gilas to be healthy, you need to be able to continue the Gilas draft. If you want the PBA to be healthy, then you need to be able to have the best players in the PBA draft.
Alright. Well, ang simple take ko lang. Ang Gilas naman can get any player they want eh. Sa akin,
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean,
That's-
why do
Ang
they have to
problema
go
lang dyan, remember,
through a draft?
Norris, what happened is, you know, yung mga tug of war, because, you know, when you're the mother team already owns you, they have the option of not to release you whenever they don't want to release you.
No, I agree. But, you know, you don't have to do it every year. You don't have to draft them every year. Meron na
Correct.
silang pool ngayon. I think that's enough. Tama na yan, di ba? And then, pwede naman silang humugot yung mga papasok na mga collegiate players, nauhugot naman nila yan, PBA players. So I think it's good to serve the national team. I have no qualms about that. I wanted that. Pero I think the PBA also needs the new blood. They need these rookies. And these players need to play. Kailangan maglaro yan. Dahil nabuburo lang si Isaac Go eh. Hindi na natin nakita. He was the #1 pick and I don't know even if he knows how it feels to play 5-on-5 now. So, you know, again, I think that Gilas draft should be not every year. Maybe it can happen. It can happen once in 5 years, once in 4 years, but definitely, I think it should go. All right. Yan po ang ating mga fast take. And I just want to go through some issues now with you, gentlemen. You know, Homer, you wrote about Kai Soto. You
Yes.
wrote about Kai Soto a few weeks ago. And after playing his preseason debut, si Kai has not played since November 14. Okay, I guess, and of course, yung coach niya, sabi, they're managing his minutes. Ano ba ang backstory dyan, Homer? Is there an injury involved here?
The official line is soreness of the knee. And I wake up, I'm 53 years old, Commissioner. I wake up sore every day.
Mas
And
bata
it-
pala ako sa'yo, Homer.
Yes, but the official line is soreness of the knee. But I did my research. Number one, the agent doesn't want to talk to me. EWP is not issuing official releases. So if you're not hiding anything, why are you not talking to the media? I spoke to a reporter who is based in Australia, who writes for The Age, the biggest newspaper out there. And one of the concerns mentioned was that Kai Soto may not be able to, quote unquote, handle the physical strain of a game. And nakausap ko rin kanina, agent ng B-League, because may dalawang players na naman na pupunta sa B-League sometime this December when they get visas from Japan. Breaking news to sa Power and Play. But anyway, while I was...
Sabihin mo na kung sino.
Oh, what? Di pwede ask na lang. So they told me, you know, I don't want to say revisionist history, but, you know, hindsight 2020. If Kai Soto had gone to Japan, he'd been making so much money right now. Look at Terdi Rabena, because in Japan, you don't even have to do much. Look at Terdi Rabena, averaging 8 points a game, and he's making so much money, and good for him. And if it were Kai Soto going there to play 20, 25 minutes and make that kind of production, which is enough, plus the, you know, factor, the Facebook and all that stuff, your social media presence, he would have made easily $32,000 a month. But going back to your question, Commissioner, it's the same when Kai Soto left the NBA G League. The two major concerns were lack of the defense, the lack to play defense, and the unreadiness, the physical unreadiness. It's the same narrative, the same things. It's like the same movie, kaya lang different director, different country. But it's all over again. And then also, if you look at the press conference of CJ Broughton, yung coach niya, to explain Kai Soto's absence, it seemed very vague. It didn't guarantee. Even him said, temper your expectations. Kasi yung Australia, they have three bigs. Kai Soto would be hard-pressed to get minutes there. It would be like a shooting forward, a 4, trying to go to the Brooklyn Nets and expecting to have minutes when there's Kevin Durant there. So...
Okay. You know, it's clear that this has not changed his situation. But Anthony, let me ask you, itong hindi paglalaro ni Kai in the preseason games, and now, you know, tila he's playing behind a couple of really good bigs there in the 36ers. Is this a positive or negative sign for you? Given that he has 3 years in his contract,
You know, if you ask me, Noli and Homer, this is a really negative, because if you couldn't find minutes from him in the preseason, what more pa during the actual season?
Exactly.
Because that's where you can actually see kung talagang kakayanin ng bata. Again, it's really very hard for us to be able to say because wala naman tayo sa mga ensayo. It would be nice to be able to watch the practices. It would be nice to be able to see what really goes on behind closed doors, so to speak, because we want to be able to see exactly how he's able to hold his own. And it doesn't seem, as Homer was saying, do sa kanyang mga sources, is he's not able to hold his own. Another concern of mine is, kung totoo nga yung kanyang swelling sa kanyang knees, being such a young kid that he is, I hope that they don't overtrain him also because minsan nakikita natin baka naghahabol siya masyado. Katulad ng sinasabi ni Homer, he can't handle the physicality in the G League and now apparently he can't handle the physicality in Australia. So, baka naman minamadali siya masyado and pinagmamadali mo masyado yung development ng isang bata, it's not going to be good for him because he should not have sore knees at this young an age. And I remember I've spoken to so many trainers in the past with all our years in sports. Rest and recovery is very, very important. So parang sa tingin ko, kung minamadali mo naman yung development itong bata, you're not allowing him to rest and to recover, that's also very bad for a player's development.
Homer, very quickly, how do you think will this affect Kai's game? Confidence as well as his future?
The confidence is definitely right now bare bottom because you left the G League because the G League coach told you we cannot give you minutes. Brian Shaw at least was upfront. We cannot give you minutes here. So they pulled up, they went there. So you go there and sabi nga ni Kai mismo, Commissioner, the goal is still to go to the NBA. And how are scouts going to look at you if you're not even playing in the preseason? And to go back to the point, very good point made by Anthony. Kasi in Australia, Commissioner, they do 2 practices a day. It's a very physical league. 2 practices a day, no excuses, no sacred cows. And insofar as the contract of Kai Soto, it's very, according to my source, an agent in the NBA, yun ang tinatawag nila, buyout friendly. 3 years, but only 2 is guaranteed. And if, they don't see, pagkita nila na we don't see what we hope to have seen or hope to him to progress at some point, they can just buy him out. It's not like $1 million contract, Commissioner.
Right, all right. Well, we will continue to follow Kai's future. We certainly hope, alam mo, everybody's hoping he just gets to play. Dahil yan ang way to improve. Yan lang naman di ba?
Yeah, ang akin lang is this, that I am often misconstrued as anti-Kai. No, I'm just the only one who's willing to talk about negative about Kai. I mean, it's not even negative, it's the truth. Yun lang naman I can't, like I said, if the kid is 7'3", I can't write and say he's 7'6". I have to write it as it is. And that's what I've been told. That's what we saw in the G League. That's what we're seeing now. And that's not my fault. If you don't like the message, don't shoot the messenger.
All right, let's go to another topic here. And I want to talk about some of the trades na napag-usapan din natin. We've been talking about this in the past sa PBA, And, one of the very common things is every time there's a trade, ang kasama dyan ay yung mga nasa baba. Blackwater, Terra Firma, Northport, lagi sila na lang ang yung nagbibigay ng mga bago at batang players doon sa mga mas malalakas na teams. Anthony, let me ask you about this. How do you address itong mga lesser halves na teams giving up all of these pieces and assets and yet hindi sila nakakapasok? Hindi sila nakakapasok sa playoffs. I mean, how do you make sense of that?
From a layman's point of view, from all of our point of view, it doesn't make sense really. But I've had a chance to be able to talk to some of the team owners that are in the latter part of the playoff bracket, so to speak. And they keep coming up with different points of view. And at the same time, parang inisip ko minsan, di ba, paano mo nga mapapalakas yung iyong kupunan? But at the same time, they come up with pretty good answers as far as they're concerned. They have different directions for their teams. And ako naman, inisip ko, well, if that's the direction of the team, that's the direction that they want to be able to go to. I mean, who am I to really question them, no? So sometimes I just have to take a back seat. But I understand where you two gentlemen are coming from. Is, you want to be able to make sure that all the teams ay nagpapalakas as much as possible. But again, having spoken to them, minsan naisip ko nga na maganda naman yung mga sagot nila sa akin, maganda naman yung direction na gusto nilang puntahan. So, as far as I'm concerned, tignan na lang natin kung saan talaga mapunta. And unfortunately for these teams, they've really not been able to get up in the ladder, so to speak.
Alam mo, Homer, kasi, most of the time, these teams are being used as a conduit. No? Ganun na nangyayari kadalasan. And
Sure.
we know what happened most recently, insofar as Vic Manuel was concerned, pinadaan muna, and of course, eventually it landed with San Miguel. He landed with San Miguel. So, and that's
Simon.
because there are issues, Simon and Season, there are issues kasi about sister teams trading. And that has always been the reason why ito nangyayari. Gumagawa ng paraan. So ako, do you think that, since the lines are blurred anyway, alisin na yung restriction? Para, in other words, pwede na mag-trade ng mga sister teams. Di sila lang ang nagtitrade, di ba? And let the independent teams really get to develop their own, and they don't have to go through. Do you think it's time that these restrictions are removed, or at the very extreme? We don't want to talk about this, but at the very extreme, remove that sister team concept?
Yes, remove it because it's a charade anyway. Look at NLEX. NLEX was gonna be so good. They would have had Mickey with Kiefer, and then all of a sudden they threw him to TNT. And kung bawal ang incest in regular society, it should be bawal in the PBA. But because they're not, it is honored more in the breach than in the practice anyway. Kaya nga yung fan-based commissioner, I look at the not because I have more time in my hands, it's because if you want to write about the PBA, you have to feel the pulse of the fans. So binabasa ko yung mga comments ng mga fan base namin, or various social media platforms. And the biggest anger ng mga fans is that the PBA thinks that they're all stupid. Nakikita ng fans to that they're doing all this na laws na, tapos like you said, like Vic Manuel dumadaan muna, tapos alam naman natin saan ang pupuntahan, like Simon and Ciso, all this. Just get all those and be transparent, and I think the fans will have a better understanding. Tapos medyo di na siya masyadong magalit, and I think it will redound to the better welfare of the PBA overall.
I understand the concept of sister teams. Commissioner Rudy Salud and Commissioner Leo Prieto told me about all of this. And, I respect that. Pero alam mo, sa panahon na ngayon, siguro kaya nang mabuhay ng PBA na talagang bawasan ng sister teams. Because nung panahon na yun, kaya ginawa nila yun, konti ang pumapasok. Pero ngayon, napakataas ng interest ng PBA. I think there are many companies who would want to come in and really be part of a...
Chooks, they should let Chooks in. If the PBA has balls, seriously, Commissioner, if it has balls, and if they want to go put Chooks, the reason why they don't want to is, I don't know why, but my guess is this. Chooks has the resources, the organization, the wherewithal to come up with teams that could combat the dynasties of San Miguel and the dominance of TNT, but ayaw nila papasukin, and it's just bad. It's bad for basketball. I have no horse in the race. I talked to both camps. But I think Chooks, if you put Chooks in there, if you want to put premium, if you really want the best products out there, because Chooks, oh my God, if you put Chooks in there, it would be like Noli Eala and me all together in the same room. And Anthony too.
I don't know if that's a good combination. Let's go to the NBA very quickly. Let me go to the NBA very quickly.
Yes.
All right. A lot of people are excited about the NBA. Today is Phoenix versus Warriors. Oh my God, Golden State. And we know what happened the other day. Nanalo ang Phoenix. They're now going for their 19th straight. Anthony, are the Phoenix Suns better? And why are they better this year than last year?
More than anything else, we all understand this. Experience is key. And they've had 1 year behind them. Not only that, even if you look at it, the previous year during the bubble, nakita mo maganda na yung kanilang performance. And then they added Chris Paul. And then they had 1 whole year with Chris Paul. They were able to make a great run last year all the way to the finals. Unfortunately, just falling short to the Bucks. And so with all of that experience behind them, they are definitely much better now. And all of them are healthy. Nakikita naman natin, Chris Paul he didn't actually have a strong finish because they were saying in the latter part of the playoffs, medyo may iniinda daw siyang injury. So right now, he's at full strength and the Suns are at full strength. And I think they are definitely better this year than they are last year.
Well, nakikita natin that the Warriors are not too far behind Homer. They have the same record. Their winning streak was snapped by the Phoenix Suns, but we can see how good this team is, how great they play. They have terrific numbers, assists. Steph Curry was just voted as the NBA's Player of the Month. Are these Warriors better than the 17-18 Warriors? And can they go all the way?
The Suns, yeah, they can. they can, but it is a long way to go. Pero I mean, Warriors commissioner, the 17-18 Warriors were, you have to remember, 67-15. That was a very good team. They had Kevin Durant. They had a very deep bench. They still have Livingston at that time. Draymond Green, obviously, still there. They had Klay Thompson. So I wouldn't say they're the best. And not only that, that team, the Warriors team, was number 1 in the NBA in scoring, 116 points per game. This one is only number 6, but they are number 5 in defense. The reason why they're very good, commissioner, is that they seem to have thrived. That because they have to rely so much. Alam na the backup doesn't have to do much because they know they have Kevin and they have Klay. Now they have only Steph Curry and everybody's rallying behind him. Jordan Poole is putting points in there, and the reserves, even Kevin Looney is doing good. So itong Warriors, but no, I refuse to be a prisoner of the moment. This team is not going to be better than the 2017 or 18 team, but they're going to be very fun to watch, commissioner. And then if get lucky, healthy, just like the Suns last year, they had a very easy pass towards the Western Conference Final. So anything can happen with this Warriors team. Lalo na kung babalik si Klay Thompson, sky's the limit.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about the East now, gentlemen. And I want to specifically talk about the Nets. They are one of the top teams in the East. But alam mo, so many things are happening with the Nets. Kyrie's not playing. Now there's news that James Harden did not sign a contract extension. So they're thinking that this guy may leave. So, are the Nets a short-term experiment, Anthony, do you think? And if they don't do it, then that thing blows up this year?
I think it's really an experiment. They've been an experiment from day one. Putting this team together. It's actually a very good formula. Kung tutusin mo talaga, maganda yung kanilang ginawa. And especially when they were able to add James Harden. But, when you put all those egos together, when you put all those things together in the mix, sometimes it can blow up in your face. And right now, it seems like medyo matagal-tagal pa naman yung season. But Kyrie Irving, we're not sure if he's going to be able to come back. All of a sudden, nakita mo naman si James Harden. Nakita mo, James Harden, you really can't put a pulse on him. Even when he was in Houston, you really actually didn't know what he would want to be able to do on any given day. Diba? And then a lot of his other friends, Russell Westbrook, who was his childhood friend, went over to play with him. And after 1 year of playing with him, sabi niya, hindi ko na kaya to. I need to be able to leave. And so, you have all these different egos in the mix. It really could blow up in your face. And right now, it just seems like it might blow up. And matagal-tagal pa yung season, but a lot of drama still to be expected here from the Nets.
Well, of course, marami pa rin umaasa na they can put it together and they can really go all the way as they have been expected. Homer, final point here. Sayang talaga. Sayang yung team na yan. Final point here, Kevin Durant is putting up good numbers, terrific numbers. So is Steph. MVP race right now. Who do you think if you were to vote MVP? Sinong MVP ng NBA?
If you're talking right now, Steph Curry, because when you vote the MVP, you have to factor the record of the team. The record of the team of the Warriors are way better than the Brooklyn Nets. And if I'm Brooklyn, isa lang worry ko. The worry is Kevin Durant is playing 37 minutes a game, and you don't want that from a player who just tore his ACL not long ago and who just blew his Achilles, and now he's carrying the load for Brooklyn. So yun lang concern. But speaking of MVP, Steph Curry for now.
All right, mga kaibigan, yan ang mga take ni Homer Sayson. And you gotta read all of his columns. May pinag-usapan. I wanted to touch on this, but we ran out of time about the MPBL. But again, read Homer Sayson's take. Of course, Anthony has his regular radio program in another station. And please follow Anthony Suntay as well on Twitter. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Merry Christmas. I hope we see each other again. Bago tayo magpasko.
Is it too late, Commissioner?
What's late? What's late?
Eala for Senator! Eala for Senator! Eala for Senator!
Mukhang wala na pag-asa to.
Wala na. Oh my God. 2024.
Maraming salamat. Anthony, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you.
Merry Christmas. Have a happy weekend, Kom. I'll see you, Homer.
Same here.
Take care.
Ingat. That mga kaibigan, ang ating mga kaibigan, si Homer Sayson, Homer Bombs today, and of course, Anthony Suntay, my good friend and golf partner. Marami po salamat. Yan ang ating mga pinag-usapan sa Fast Take. Alright, before we take a break, bago tayo mag-commercial, short break muna tayo para panoorin ng ilang sa mga trending videos. Let's stop and watch some popular trending videos sa sports sa ating Stop and Pop. Hindi po siya player, hindi rin po siya coach, pero siya ay gumagawa ng ingay bilang MVP daw doon sa FIBA Africa World Cup qualifiers. Ito po yung taga-Punas, the map guy as he is called. Hindi lang 100% ang energy at effort, sure na talagang tuyo ang hardwood, pati katawan ginagamit na pangpunas. At talaga namang mapapangiti kayo pati sa paggulong niya paglabas ng basketball court. Saludo kami sa iyo, Kuya, the map guy sa ating Stop and Pop. Pambihira, no? Nakita nyo? Kaya nyo ba yun? Ha? Ha? Yan ang dapat ng mga pauso. Ha? Sana madala natin yan dito sa 2023 World Championships. Alright, mga kaibigan, we'll take a break. Sa aming pong pagbabalik, we will talk to a boxing hopeful. At siya po ang lalaban mamayang gabi para sa championship ng bansa. Alright, babalik po kami. Ang oras po natin, 9:15 ng umaga. This time check is brought to you by Birmingham Subdivisions. Come home to Birmingham. Babalik pa po ang Power and Play. Hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom at ng Cherry Tigo.
I dare to dream big, to be a voice of my generation, to inspire resilience in the face of roadblocks. And in sharing my stories, I let others share in my passion.
Follow Kai's stories on Twitter and share yours with Smart Double Giga Stories. Share 2 times the passion with 2 gigabytes for Twitter and more. Guaranteed every day, plus data for all sites.
Simple, smart ako.
Alex, are you ready to have some fun on your first driving lesson?
Ang Power and Play ay hatid sa inyo ng Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Sa ganitong pabago-bago ang panahon, mga kapatid, sobrang init tapos biglang uulan. Kailangan natin ng matibay at protektadong bubong. Dapat ang bubong ay yerong may aluminum. Kapag may aluminum, tsak na pangmatagalan. At isa lang ang alam kong dekalidad na yerong may aluminum. Yan ang Cherry Loom. Tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero. Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Cherry Tigo, paano mo masasabing nakaka-enjoy i-drive ang sasakyan mo? Isa lang ang sagot ko dyan. Syempre kapag ang minamaneho mo ay Cherry Tigo 7 Pro. Luxurious ang exteriors at comfort-filled naman ang interiors. Intelligent dahil meron itong automatic tailgate opening, engine start, at climate control na pwede mong makontrol using its smart key. Perfect pa pang long drive dahil meron itong large sunroof, HD touchscreen, wireless mobile charging, at 360 around view monitoring. Pro na pro ka with the Tigo 7 Pro dahil available na rin ito for as low as 88,000 pesos all in. Hanggang 120,000 din ang cash discounts exclusive ngayong September. Open pa for free test drives kaya i-schedule mo na ang appointment sa Cherry Dealer today. Cherry Tigo 7 Pro, fun to drive. Joyride ang bago ninyong kasundo. Dahil ayaw naming nahihirapan ka, book Joyride Motorcycle Taxi now and experience hassle-free commute. And it's never too early to start getting ready for the holidays. Now's the right time to plan the perfect gifts for your loved ones to avoid the holiday rush. For all your delivery needs this coming holiday season, Joyride Super App is here. Now available in Metro Manila, Metro Cebu, Laguna, Baguio, and soon in Bulacan. So download the latest Joyride Super App now. Elms Resto Bar Group, home of fried eating, with branches at Elms Tapas and Winery, located in Calle Bistro, Commonwealth, Quezon City, and Elms Grill and Bar in Poblacion, Makati. You may call 0977-157-0499 or 0966-854-4048 or visit their FB and IG pages at Elms Resto Bar Group for reservations and inquiries. Skin, your face and body anti-aging center, with branches at Wilson Street, San Juan City, and Alabang Town Center, Muntinlupa City. For inquiries, please call 0917-890-1640 or 0977-809-8886. ASEA Subic Beach Resort. Experience the getaway that you deserve and dive into limitless happenings, rejuvenating experiences, and gastronomic adventures. ASEA Subic Beach Resort. Power and Play would also like to thank the Umami Bowl, your go-to for Japanese rice bowls, and Lick Hobby, weave by weave, hand in hand. Check out their IG pages. And Power and Play is powered by Smart. Live smart. Maraming salamat sa lahat po ng tagapagtaguyod ng Power and Play. And of course, gusto ko pong ulit magpasalamat sa ating pinakabagong sponsor ng Power and Play, ang Birmingham Subdivisions ng Homeowners Development Corporation. Come home to Birmingham, located at Antipolo, Cainta, General Trias, Cavite, Marikina, Pasig, Rodriguez, San Mateo, at sa Tagaytay. Naku, napakaganda po ng kanilang mga developments. Building communities since 1984. Celebrate Christmas in a new home. Your home in Birmingham Subdivisions. Check out their Facebook pages. Napakaganda po ng kanilang mga developments. And of course, abot kaya ang kanilang mga developments. And really, puntahan nyo po ng kanilang Facebook pages para ma-appreciate nyo ang developments ng Homeowners Development Corporation, Birmingham Subdivision, ang pinakabagong tagapag-suporta ng Power and Play. Again, thank you to Jimmy and Eva Hernandez. So by the way, also I'd like to thank Perfect Drive PH ni paring Adrian Flores. Check out their latest issues. Libre po ang Perfect Drive PH, the golf and motor magazine sa inyong favorite golf clubs and of course, mga iba't ibang areas. I'd like also to remind everyone na yung pong Elms restaurant dyan sa Evergotesco ay ngayon ay Elms Seafood Paluto. Naku, bukas na po Puntahan nyo na po yung Elms Seafood Paluto. Ang dami pong fresh na mga pwedeng paluto and of course ipagawa dyan sa Elms Seafood Paluto. Maraming salamat kay Manu Yambao. All right, at this point, we were talking about hopefuls in Philippine sports. Well, let's begin with our first interview of a boxing hopeful. He is undefeated, 17-0 ang kanyang record, mga kaibigan. And tonight, he challenges Mark Anthony Geraldo for the Philippine Super Bantamweight Championship. Siya po ang the Wonder Boy at ating pong nakapanayam siya the other day. Ito po ang aming panayam with Carl James Martin, the undefeated Super Bantamweight contender ng Pilipinas. Kasama po natin nga ang undefeated na lumalaban ngayon para sa Philippine Super Bantamweight Championship. Walang iba kundi the Wonder Boy, Carl James Martin. Magandang araw sa iyo, Carl. Maraming salamat sa pagpapaunlak at pagsama dito sa Power and Play.
Magandang araw din po sa inyo at sa lahat po ng taga-subaybay na sa sport po sa larangan ng boxing.
At alam mo, I have to admit na this is the first time I'm meeting you at ako'y natutuwa na makakausap kita. I'm always very fascinated sa mga atleta, sa mga boxers na bata at up and coming at talagang nakikita natin ang pagpupursige. So, let me ask you muna, Carl, no? Undefeated ka, lalaban ka kay Mark Anthony Geraldo sa December 4 sa Ilorde Sports Complex for the Philippine Super Bantamweight Championship. Anong pakiramdam mo ngayon? Ikaw ba nakapag-training na mahusto?
Matagal ko na pong pinaghandaan yung laban kasi March pa lang po naka-ready na po ko para labanan si Anthony Geraldo, yung champ po sa RP natin. Matagal pong paghanda pong ginawa ko para sa darating po na laban sa December 4.
Alam mo, sa mga kwento-kwento at mga nabasa ko, yung kwento mo ay tungkol sa maagang pagsisimula sa larangan ng boxing, no? Katulad ng napakaraming mga iba pang mga boksingero, maagang nagsimula at nagpursige. Ikaw ay naging kampiyon sa iba't ibang level, no? Pamula nung ikaw ay bata. At of course, yung huli mong nakuha, yung WBA Asia Bantamweight title, yung WBO Oriental Youth Bantamweight title. Kwento mo nga sa amin, Carl, kung paano ka nagsimula sa boxing?
Bago ko po makuha lahat ng titulo na yan, nag-amateur po muna ako with my coach and my father also, Abel Martin. Siya yung laging kagapay ko sa pagte-training kasi siya na rin yung tatay ko pagdating sa family. Lumaban po ako ng mga amateur fights, naka 56 fights din po ako sa amateur ko. Before yan, nangyari niyan, nag-akyat na po ako nag-apply po ako ng professional boxing. At sa 56 fight ko na amateur, lahat naman po yun panalo. Yun.
2016 ka nung ikaw ay nag-professional.
Yes po, sir.
After your a very checkered amateur career. Pero yung pagpasok mo sa boxing, Carl, sino ang nakadiscover sa iyo? Bakit mo nagustuhan ng boxing?
Actually, tatay ko dati yung former professional boxer din. And then yung mga kapatid kong lalaki, kasi 4 po kami lalaki, ako yung bunsong lalaki po. Yung 4 nagboxing po sila po yung nauna nagboxing. Dahil sa kahirapan ng promotion nung panahon nila, mahirap po talaga na kahit panalo na natatalo pa rin. Pero this time, para sa akin naman, pinapalad naman po ako kahit paano, tinutulungan ako ng family ko sa mga kailangan ko at pagpasok ko sa larangan ng boxing. So, nagbibigay silang motivasyon para sa akin.
Alright. Alam mo, lahat ng boksingero laging merong, kumbaga, pinapattern yung kanyang estilo, yung kanyang career, sa kanyang mga idolo. Sino ang parang inidolo mo nung nagsisimula ka sa boxing?
Actually, una ko napapanood, meron na tayong Zigores nung panahon na yun. Nasa
Zigores.
2004, 2005, Zigores ang halos napapanood ko. And then, nung panahon na ng Senator Manny Pacquiao at yung mga sumunod pa na mga world champion. Like Jerry Peñalosa ko.
Aside from boxing, ikaw ba nahilig sa ibang laro?
Aside from boxing naman, hindi na ako nahilig sa ibang laro. Pero naglalaro ako ng ibang sport after training, after boxing.
And ano ang pinaka-inspirasyon mo ngayon, Carl? Sa larangan ng boxing, lalong-lalo na ngayon na ikaw ay naghahabol na ng mga titulo na malalaki.
Inspirasyon ko po, family ko kahit pa paano talagang sila yung simula nananiwala sa akin bago ko pumasok sa boxing. Sila muna ang nagbigay sa akin ng inspirasyon. Syempre, sumunod na rin yung mga team ko sa Team Wonderboy at yung mga taong tunay sa akin sa pagtulong at pagsuporta. Ganun na rin sa mga boxing fans natin at sa mga taga-suporta ko po.
Alam mo, hindi mahirap ito, hindi madali itong pinagdadaanan natin ngayon na pandemya. At alam naman natin kung gaano katagal na tenga ang napakaraming mga atleta, professional or amateur. At alam din natin na hindi madaling lumabas o magpapaya dahil nakakatakot pa rin ang banta ng COVID-19. Kamusta ang naging epekto ng pandemya sa iyo in terms of your training, your conditioning, and of course sa mga laban na dinadaanan mo?
Sa katunayan ho, napakamalaking epekto po ng pandemic, hindi lang sa akin, ganun din rin sa lahat po sa buong mundo, kasi maraming mga naudlot na laban, maraming mga plano ang hindi natuloy. Pero siguro sa gantong nangyari, meron pa rin pong ipagkakaloob ang Diyos at may plan po para sa akin, para sa sarili ko. Marami man po mga laban, yung mga conditioning na nabanggit nyo po, yung mga laban na nasayang, mga na hindi natuloy. Pagdating po sa conditioning, wala naman po problema sa training kasi tuloy-tuloy naman po sa training kahit papaano, wala pong sinasayang na panahon. Ang nasasayang lang po talaga dahil sa pandemic yung mga promotion, like yung mga laban na sayang, yung mga kailangan mong maging experience po sa buhay.
Alright. Well, totoo yan at mabutit ikaw ay bukas ng mata sa lahat ng problema ng paghahanda pagdating sa laban na ito. Carl, you have a terrific record, 17-0 at 15 knockouts. Ano ba ang sikreto ni Carl dito sa ganitong klaseng record na napakagaling, ganda at hindi ka tila matalo at of course puro pinapatumba ang mga kalaban? What is your secret in terms of training at saan mo nakuha yung lakas na yan?
Nagpapasalamat po muna ako kasi itong lakas na to nanggagaling po talaga sa Panginoong Diyos natin. At kailangan din natin ng tapatan ng pagsisikap sa training, hard work, sa mga ganyan. Kasi hindi naman pwedeng lagi kang lumapit sa Diyos kung di mo naman din tinutulungan yung sarili mo sa training. Doon po nanggagaling at siyempre sa mga suporta ng mga tao at sa family ko po.
Alright. Abot kamay na ang Philippine Championship. Ito na ang una mong malaking laban para sa isang national title sa professional. Ano ang expectations mo papasok dito sa laban na to kay Geraldo?
Marami po akong game plan para sa darating na fight po this coming December 4. Siguro sa taas ko na lang po ng ring may papakita na sana magtagumpay pa rin po ko at hindi ko po madismaya o madisappoint yung mga taong nag-aabang po sa akin.
Si Mark Anthony Geraldo is a very experienced fighter. Ang dami nang nakalaban niya. Ang record niya ay halos mahigit doble sa'yo. 38 wins, 9 losses, 3 draws, and of course, ang dami na niya nakalaban. Kasama na dyan si Jerwin Angkahas na tinalo niya. Yung si Nurdin Ubali na tinalo ni Nonito Donaire. At napakarami pang iba. In terms of experience, obviously, lamang siya. But ano sa tingin mo ang advantage mo dito sa laban na to kay Geraldo?
Wala naman po ako nakikitang advantage ko para sa darating na laban. Para sa akin po, siguro kahit paano may bilis ako at may mga suntok din akong kaya kong ibigay sa kanya na siguro kaya din magpayanig ng buhay. Pero kahit paano po, talagang kailangan ko po gawin na manalo sa fight at kahit sobrang eksperyensado po siya. Ipapakita ko po yung pinaghirapan ko na halos isang taon din pong paghahanda para din po dito sa laban.
Naghahanap ka ba ng knockout, Carl, dito sa laban na to? Considering yung record mo, unblemished, of course, 15 knockouts in your in your record out of your 17 wins. Ikaw ba ay naghahanap ng tulog din dito?
Naghanap po ako ng knockout talaga.
Alright. Ano ba ang suntok na dapat abangan ng mga manonood? Ano ba pinaka paborito mong suntok?
Marami po kasi karaniwan po hindi ko naman po alam kung paano ko na-knockout yung kalaban, basta nakakapagbitaw po ako ng mga combination punch. Sa pamamagitan po nun na nakaka-knockout po ako.
Oo. Well, alam mo, batang-bata ka pa. You're only 22 years old, no? Tama?
Yes po, sir.
Alright. Pag-usapan natin ng konti ang mga plano mo. Assuming na ikaw ay makalusot kay Geraldo, ano ba ang timetable mo para makarating doon sa susunod na level? And of course, alam na natin yan. Yan ay paglaban na sa mga malalaking fights sa World Championship level. Ano ang timetable mo dyan, Carl?
Sa katunayan tumataas na po tayo ng level ng kalaban like Anthony Gerardo na this coming December 4. After siguro nito, kung pala rin po kung manalo, mabibigyan po ko ng magandang opportunity para next year po.
So, tingin mo by next year, assuming nga na ikaw ay lumusot dito kay Anthony Geraldo, magkakaroon ka na ng pagkakataon na lumaban sa bigger fights. And of course, that will need a promoter. Ang bali-balita namin ay ikaw ay nandun pa rin sa stage na nililigawan ka ng mga kung sino-sinong mga promoter. Katulad nila Morris East, nila Richard Schaefer, ni Sean Gibbons at kung sino-sino pa. Ano bang hinahanap mo sa isang promoter? At parang mailap ka.
Pagdating po sa ganyan, na syempre dumarating naman sa akin yung napag-usapan, mahirap po talaga kasi syempre kailangan mo yung pinaka-the best deal para sa darating mong career sa inaharap, sa kinabukasan tsaka sa inaharap. Siguro yung mga offer po, napag-uusapan po ng team ko yan, sa family ko, ng team, na advisor ko at sa syempre yung mga taong nakapaligid sa akin. Napag-uusapan po namin yan and then bago kami pumirma, bagong lahat, pinag-aaralan po namin ang lahat bago yan.
Well, alam mo, yan ay mga desisyon na malaki ang impact sa isang Yan po mga kaibigan ng ating panayam kay Carl James Martina. Siya po ay lalaban mamayang gabi kay Mark Anthony Geraldo, ang Philippine Super Bantamweight Champion of the Philippines. At yan po ay gaganapin sa Ilorde Sports Complex mamaya pong gabi. Ito si Martina ay tigtubong Hingyon Ifugao. At ngayon fighting out of Lagawi. Kaya talagang pinagmamalakihan ng mga taga Ifugao. And of course, we wish both fighters all the best. And of course, si Carl Martin, all the best sa kanyang budding career, 17-0. Hopefully, meron tayo makitang bagong sports star na naman para sa ating bansa. Alright, bago po natin ipasok ang ating susunod na panayam, stop and pop muna tayo. Stop tayo para sa mga trending videos sa ating mundo ng palakasan, sa ating Stop and Pop. Last time mga kapatid, pinakita natin ang second generation na basketball player na anak ni LeBron James. Well, ngayon pong linggong ito, second generation na naman ang ating ipapakita. Pero sobrang bata nito, yet nagpapakita na siya ng likas na galing. Ito po, panoorin nyo, ang batang-batang anak ng super flyweight fighter na si Andrew Moloney. Nakikita naman yun yung bata. Ang kaliit-liit pero ginagaya niya yung kanyang ama. Nakikipagsabayan pa sa training. Hindi rin nahihiyang magbato ng right hook. Panoorin niya. Kita mo yan? Aba, kung sa gym na nga lalaki itong batang ito, hindi malabong sundan yan ang yapak ng kanyang ama. Yan po ang batang-batang anak ng isang boksingerong si Andrew Moloney sa ating Stop and Pop. Ang cute, no? Ang cute ng bata. Talagang pinapakita niya na gusto niya maging boksingero doon sa sa susunod na mga taon. Well, I'm sure makikita natin yung batang yan. Alright, talking about bata and talking about the future. Ito pong susunod nating bisita, again, is about Philippine sports future. Siya po ay figure skater na ngayon ay nagbibigay na rin ng ingay sa mundo ng figure skating. Siya po ang budding star ng figure skating ng Pilipinas at ating pong nakasama siya noong isang araw sa ating panayam sa Power and Play. Mga kaibigan, panoorin po natin sa ating In the Spotlight. Sofia Guidote started 5 years old. She became a national champion even when she was young in figure skating. And she became a Disney ambassador also for the Philippines. Ito po ang ating panayam sa budding star ng figure skating, Sofia Guidote. Kasama po natin ngayon si Sofia Guidote. Magandang araw. Good morning back there. Good evening here in Manila.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us and getting up so early in the morning in San Francisco. First of all, what are you doing in San Francisco?
So I'm in San Francisco mainly for training. Yeah.
So you're training. Is that your base now when it comes to training and of course competitions?
Right now, yes. I moved here about a year and a half ago for training here in San Francisco. Yeah, it's my new base.
All right. Many people follow skating, of course, with the popularity of skating rising in the Philippines. Of course, the pandemic kind of hurt it because nagsara lahat ng mga skating rinks. But still, you are a name that is a little bit new to many Filipinos. So let me ask your story. I read somewhere that you started very young in your skating career. You were like 5 or 6. Tell us a little bit about that, Sofia.
Yeah, so I started skating about 5.5, 6. So I'm now 19. So I've been skating for practically my whole life. It all started off as a play date with my friend. She brought me to the rink and I automatically fell in love with the sport. Of course, when I was little, what really got me was like the nice dresses. But then as I grew older, I learned that the sport is not only just artistic, but it's also very athletic. So that's what really hooked me, like all the challenges the sport gives and all of that. That's what really hooked me to the sport.
Usually a young girl would, if it's sports, would probably get into swimming, tennis, something that, is more common. Why skating? What did you find in skating that you like?
Like I mentioned a while ago, it's like a really great combination of dancing, but also athletics. So like, I feel like skating is like such a great sport for Filipinos because we're naturally like that. So the fact that I'm able to just dance on the ice and like just be free on the ice, I think is what really hooked me into skating.
All right. Well, you did mention that you like dancing and it's like dancing on ice. So which part of it do you like? The dancing part or the ice part?
I feel like it's kind of cool being on the ice. I mean, sometimes I like to joke na skating is like such a dangerous sport because we're like skating on like knives. So I find that really cool, like to be able to dance on the ice. But I don't know which part I like more.
Do you like dancing at all?
I do. Like during my free time, I like to learn like K-pop dances.
Okay, so that's where it is. Of course, the dance. I interviewed once here another skater, Sofia Frank, and it's the same thing. Her story started with the clothes, and then, of course, it went to music, and of course, it was the coolness of the ice. So it's very common, I think, among young girls to look at that. But what's not common, of course, is how you ramped up your training as a little girl. I was reading in one of your interviews that, slowly your coaches brought up your training regimen. You started waking up very early. You started doing more and more activity, physical exercises. When did you realize that, first of all, what is the mindset of a young girl having to face each day and going into training? Is that something that was very difficult for you?
Well, when I was really little, it was not hard for me at all because parang skating for me is just like fun. It's something I really love to do. So parang as a young girl, I would love just waking up and being able to go to the rink, and I was always excited for training. But syempre, as I got older, we get tired more. But with like my family always believing in me, and the fact I'm able to represent my country, which is such a huge honor, always like motivates me to keep going, and that's how my mindset is.
You were a national junior champion very early in your career. You were winning a lot of awards even before you were a teenager, and obviously that pushed you to more intense competitions. But when did you realize, Sofia, that this would be what you want to do? This would be your life, practically.
I think I realized really early on, because like I said, it's something I really enjoy doing. So parang it's not like work for me. It's just like playing every day and just being able to do what I love. I think I really like made it like my life and my focus. Like I think when I became a junior, so like after I won my first junior championship, that's when I realized I should really focus on this more, because maybe I'll be able to achieve more and hopefully like show everyone that even though I come from a tropical country, Filipinos can do it.
Can play. Oh yeah, that's what's amazing with all of you skaters, because everyone knows the Philippines has no snow. We've never experienced any snow here, and yet you're such good figure skaters, and it really shows the kind of people we are. Talking about training, Sofia, obviously there are some aspects of it that make you really excited, but there are also some parts that you don't like. What's the hatest part about training for you?
I don't like going to the gym. I hate running. Like that's one thing I really hate doing. So whenever I have to do that, I'm like dreading it. But I'm like, I need it. This will help me for the future.
And for your cardio and everything. Yeah. So what motivates you when you hit that kind of obstacle? When you start saying, "Oh my God, it's a treadmill or it's the road," what motivates you?
Well, in any sport naman, there's lots of ups and downs. But what really keeps me going is the fact that people believe in me. And like I said a while ago, I want to show that Filipinos can do it, because like skating is such a perfect sport for us. So I'm hoping like if I'm able, me and my teammates, if we're able to achieve more, make the sport a little more popular, more people will start skating. And
Absolutely.
That's what really keeps me motivated during hard times.
I'm sure it is. And of course, a lot of people support you in that sense. Let me get to know you a little bit here for our viewers. Your family background. Are you a family? First of all, how many are you in the family? How many siblings do you have?
We're 3. So I have 2 older brothers, and then I'm the youngest. I'm the only girl.
Are you a sporty family? Were your parents in sports? Are your brothers in any kind of sport?
We're kind of mixed. My dad is very sporty, my mom not so. My older brother is more of an artist, like the oldest. And then the one before me is athletic. He's really into like lifting weights and all of that. So we're like a mixed family, but we're all very close and they support me a lot.
And how have they been an influence to you in terms of your skating career?
Some people, they like ask me a lot, like, are my brothers like supportive? They are super supportive. Like yung type na they'll post everything I do. Sometimes I feel like they like to show more about my life than me sometimes. I feel like at times they're way more proud than I am. So I have a very, very supportive family, which helps me talaga on a daily basis.
Are they with you in San Francisco?
My mom is with me, and then my dad and my brother are back home.
And how difficult is that? You're training and you're away from the people that you know are very proud of you and support you a lot. Tell us a little bit about that. How difficult is that experience?
Syempre, it was really hard at first because I'm such a family person. So being away from my family and close friends was really hard at first. But thank God for like technology. I'm able to just message or call them whenever I miss them.
Oh.
So that's how
the world has become smaller. So, going away and really working or training somewhere else really has not become as difficult as it used to be.
Yeah.
Sofia, you started skating at a young age. Obviously, many athletes always pattern themselves after someone. Did you idolize anyone? Was there a person that you looked up to in terms of skating, or even in sports, that sort of like, gave you that push, that gave you that little motivation, additional motivation to really work hard on your craft?
So I idolize a lot of athletes. Syempre, Michael Martinez, who was the first one to make it to the Olympics for the Philippines. Since he was also like a homegrown skater like me, I started skating in the Philippines and then had to move away from the Philippines just to further the training. He really inspired me in that sense. But honestly, who else do I? A lot of like Russian skaters, since they're like the powerhouses in skating right now, motivate because I hope to one day be as good as them. But the main people that really like inspire me are actually my family, since like my parents work so hard to give us, their children, everything we want in life. That motivates me a lot and inspires me that everything I have to do through hard work, just like them.
You are still studying?
Yes, I just graduated high school.
Oh, congratulations! All right. So how does this now affect your plans moving forward? Are you getting into college in the US? Are you planning to go back home for college? How does that impact now on your career?
Well, because of the pandemic, it makes it a little harder. So as of the moment, I'm still trying to figure it out. So I'm like taking a gap year from school. But for sure, I will go to college. But the first big decision I have to make is whether I stay here or back home. But I'm most likely to go back home for school.
Well, I'm sure that you'll find that it'll be a lot easier knowing that people are around to support you even when you're studying. Are there any other sports or interests that you have outside of the skating rink?
I like to sing and dance. I'm not a great singer, but I really enjoy doing that on my free time.
Very Filipino. Very Filipino.
Karaoke, all of that. I love to do that with my friends. I watch a lot of anime and K-drama, and I really like watching like gymnastics.
All right.
I actually tried gymnastics for a little bit when I was younger, but I still stuck to skating because that's what I like. I also play lots of badminton with my dad because that's his sport.
That's great. Well, I read somewhere that you also want to be a fashion designer in the future.
I've always been into fashion. Like when I was younger, like yung mga coloring books like that. My parents would buy me a lot of like yung parang fashion design like stencils, ganun. So at a young age, I was really into that kaagad.
And does that influence your staying in skating? Do you actually even design your own outfits when you do a routine?
Well, I don't fully design the whole costume, but I do help out a lot with the designing.
All right. And of course, one of the highlights in your young career is that you were selected as an ambassador for Disney. Can you tell us about that experience and how did that go about and how much of that is impacted on your life?
Oh, I got super kilig when that happened because I'm such a Disney kid. I grew up with Disney. So when one day someone was calling my mom, syempre it was an unknown number, so she didn't answer it kaagad. And then she got a message saying who they were, like, we're from Disney, we wanna have Sofia be an ambassador. I had an interview and all of that, and then I was picked. I think that really boosted my confidence when it came to skating. It's like, wow, I was chosen to be an ambassador. I think that's how that impacted it. And the fact, that's when I realized that I actually like inspire kids, and what I do has such a much bigger picture and bigger meaning.
Well, talking about inspiring people, you're very big on social media. You have your own YouTube channel, and you have your own project that you put out on your YouTube channel. First of all, tell us about that, and how do you manage that with your busy schedule?
So yes, I just started a YouTube channel like about a month ago. Yeah, it's called Sofia Guidote Official. It's been really fun. It's really easy for me to balance it because it's more like fun for me. I see it more like as an open diary to show people how my life is. But I have a team that helps me out. So it's very easy for me to balance it with my busy schedule.
All right. Do you think social media is vital to athletes? Or do you think that that puts undue stress to you guys being on social media?
I think it depends. Like, syempre, you can have negative comments and that can add stress.
Mm.
But I feel like social media really helps to show people how athletes are. Like, we're all just like normal human beings that are still trying to navigate through life. So I like how social media shows that, and it makes us like really relatable in that sense.
Well, a lot of athletes actually use that as a platform to help, to reach out. But also, there have been some athletes who have been affected by it. Naomi Osaka was very open about this. Even the gymnast was very open about this, about how it has affected them. So, I guess it's really how you handle the platform itself. And
And I think for me, I'm just really blessed that I have a really great support system.
great.
So it doesn't affect me too much when it comes to like negative things.
Well, it feels like we've known a little more about you, and we're more, more attuned to what you're doing. Your YouTube channel, all the other things that you like to do. Now, let's go to your career as a skater. 2021 is done, and you've in your young career you've done so much. What is the target for 2022, Sophia?
Well, now I'm in the senior level. So I've moved up a level from junior. So this is all very new for me. I'm hoping to be able to improve a lot so that I can do bigger competitions like some Challenger series like Asian Open Trophy, maybe Universiade in the future. So I'm really hoping I'm able to do bigger competitions in the near future.
Talk to us about San Francisco. You said that you were training there. Where do you train? How is the setup there? Who is your coach in San Francisco?
So I'm in San Francisco. I train about 4 hours a day. My main coach, his name is Philip de Guglielmo.
Mm-hmm.
I skate in this really like pretty rink, which really helps also for motivation because it's fine. One side is just glass, so you see outside. Because I'm in the city, so outside it's like by a garden and all of that.
Wow.
Sunlight. But anyway, so I have 3 coaches. So Philip de Guglielmo is my main coach, and then I have a jump coach, Jeremy Abbott and Lynn, and then I have a coach for skating skills. His name is Massimo Scali. I feel really honored because I have such a great team.
Mm-hmm.
So my daily training is like I wake up around 6:37. Then I start skating about 9.
Mm-hmm.
I skate for about an hour and a half, and then I have a break, and then I skate again for an hour and a half to 2 hours, and then it alternates within the week. I either skate again in the afternoon, or I have Pilates, or I go to the gym.
Wow, that's a full schedule, and you get to sneak in, your YouTube channel. You get to sneak in a little bit of, well, of course, your studies, and of course, all the social life and your time with your family. But given that kind of training, that intense training, what kind of changes have you seen in your own game, in your own routine? And do you feel like yan po mga kaibigan ng ating panayam kay Sofia Guidote, ang ating pong figure skater na ngayon na nagtitraining sa San Francisco. She's hoping, of course, to make it to the national team and represent our country sa mga international tournaments. She was a national champion at a very young age, no? 3 beses naging national champion yan. And alam niyo, iba rin yung figure skating, yung skating no? Nauuso na sa atin. Kahit mainit tayo, tropical country, ang dami pong nahihilig ng mga kabataan. And obviously, with music and the grace ng mga Pilipino, meron tayong pag-asa na umangat dyan sa sport na yan. Alright. Doon po sa mga nagpadala lang nung sa ating pinupulsuhan, dapat ba si LeBron James na pumalit kay Frank Vogel? Medyo tayo, babasahin ko lang yung iba. Sinabi ni Adrian Flores, sabi niya dapat matagal na daw pinalitan si Vogel. At ang dami na nung pagkakamali. Mula kay J. Rafael, maraming salamat. J. Rafael Lapid. Nagkamali ba ako ng salita dito? December 8 ang opening ng PBA, mga kapatid, sabi ni Rafael Lapid. Ang sabi naman niya, LBJ, I think is a better player than Coach. LA should look to give Coach Frank another chance. good day and God bless you all. Maraming salamat. Ha? Sabi ni Rene Santa Ana, palitan na si Frank Vogel. Wag si LeBron. Mukhang gusto niyo pa maglaro si LeBron James. Ha? Mayroon pa mga nagsabi, si Tom, pwede. Pwede daw si LeBron. Alam niyo, hindi masama. But of course, I think LeBron still wants to play. Marami pang pwedeng magawa itong si LeBron James. So, huwag natin kagad madaliin yung kanyang pag-retiro. By the way, I'd like to congratulate si Daniela Uy. Nanalo ng ICTSI Riviera Ladies Championship po. Tinalo niya kahapon si Chihiro Ikeda dun sa Riviera Golf and Country Club. I was there yesterday and I'd like to again thank Ricky Alegre, June Campos for hosting us. And ang ganda po ng conditions ng Langer course. Unbelievable. Ang bilis ng green. And itong mga ladies natin na naglaro, talagang nasubukan dyan. Congratulations again to Daniela Uy. Alright, mga kapatid, that'll do it for us this Saturday on another beautiful edition ng Power and Play. Pasko na po mga kapatid, kaya lagi tayong mag-isip ng kabutihan sa ating kapwa-tao. At lagi po natin sinasabi tuwing Sabado ng umaga, bawal ang masungit. At sa lahat po ng ating gawain, ad maiorem Dei gloriam, all for the greater glory of God. Kami po ang 1PH, teleserbisyo para sa Pilipino. Happy Sports Weekend mga kapatid! More power, more play.
Kapwa ko Pilipino, ipagmalaki ang galing na meron tayo. Ilantad ang likas nating talento at magdala ng saya sa mundo. Sa harap ng pagsubok ay di susuko, para sa pangarap tayo'y porsigido. Pagpakitang gilas na at pagpapatalo, ipag-iwang natin ang Pilipino. Yan ang Pinoy. Mula noon at hanggang ngayon, talento natin ng bida. Mula sa simpleng bakuran hanggang entablado natin ipakita. May pagsubok man ng Pinoy, pinalalakas ng saya. Saan man tayo sa pulot, sumbesibay, lakay, aliga. Sama-samang pakita, ang galing natin katropa. Sa kapwa ko Pilipino.